Howdy, happy Easter, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Uh, Went to bed a little earlier last night than usual, but I did stay up late, and I slept in later this morning than usual. And last night, I've been doing a lot lately. Sorry, I was readjusting. Been watching a ton of videos related to Sasquatch and Bigfoot. I know right away you're probably, oh God, here we go again. You know, one of these. I get why some people feel that way, but I, I'm back in the Blackwater River State Forest. I'm at a place I've been to before on this channel. It's called Bone Creek Recreation Area. It has a nice little trail, about 1.2 miles, and I'm thinking about walking that, but I've been really feel compelled to share a little bit what's been going on in my world as far as things that don't make sense to me. And so a few days back, I forget how many days it was. I'd been in the morning. I'd been watching a lot of the documentaries, interviews with people that have had face-to-face encounters or sightings of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, depending on where you reside. And so I just did a little riverside chat from the Blackwater River. Whoa, big old dragonfly coming to join the event here. But so yeah, nothing real special about that, but it was like that whole topic of Bigfoot has been like overwhelming me lately. But I'm going to tell you something that was so freaking strange and weird. Like I'm not a big believer, or I wasn't a big believer in like the paranormal side of the Bigfoot thing, and just so many parts of what people report and stuff. I'm not saying they're making it up. It just does not make sense to me. I do believe that out in the forest, like what we have here, I do believe there's some type of primates, Neanderthals, whatever you want to call them, that are large and do exist. The part where they just morph into a white deer or truly just literally just vanish and go poof, that part I have a hard time believing. I'm not saying it's not true or not possible, but it's just not something I can fathom and believe. But so the other day, when I sat riverside, this is so crazy. I'm like most people would never even discuss what I'm about to discuss, and this is another part that makes no sense to me. But this is what I observed. So I leave the river. I go straight to Planet Fitness. get on the massage table, and then go shower. And I noticed something in the shower that was really weird. And I'm gonna make the thumbnail of this video the image I saw on the tiles. I had showered in that same stall probably, well, it's been a year, so 95% of the time I always go to the same stall. So you figure, I don't know, 300 times minimum. I happened to look at the tiles in the corner in front of me, and I've always faced that way because, you're lathering up, you're soaping, you're trying to get clean, and all of a sudden These appeared to be 12-inch tiles, by the way. So I see literally a big barefoot impression on the wall. You could clearly see the big toe, the toes, the toes, the toes. I don't know how well you're going to see it as a thumbnail, but as I was standing in front of it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally, at the time, I was thinking it was 14 to 16 inches, but I went back and I showered today and I looked at it more closely, and that impression is still there for me to see. I thought magically it was going to disappear, and it was like going to be a one-time sign, kind of like opening up my senses, so to speak. And I looked at it more closely today, and it's more like 16 to 18 inches from the heel to the toe. So you could see clearly the toe outline on the tile, but the pinky toe was barely visible. So after I took that picture, I was trying to hold it, and I was trying not to look like a weirdo. First of all, why would somebody have a phone in the shower at a public facility, right? I don't even know if that's legal. I don't think it is. But so I literally, I'm holding it with one hand, not the Coors Light, but the phone, and then I'm trying to just silently show the outline of the foot. So all evening when I was at work, that's all I could think about. I'm like totally obsessed, if you will, or self-absorbed, or whatever you want to call it, with nature, the creatures in nature. And I hear a lot of these people that are interviewed saying some were scared to death, some actually defecate. Um, they have these terms people use. It's like ultrasound, or like some people report that they feel like they've been zapped, and they're totally zapped of energy, really exhausted, and different people feel that's like how they can like subdue their prey, if you will. And here's the other thing that doesn't make sense to me either, is so many people report that Bigfoot can sense that we're, what's the word I want to use? I may use the wrong word here, but I'm going to just throw one that's like senses like we're compatible, we can coexist, and that they don't feel we're a threat. That's like a theory. The one thing, it was weird, growing up I always heard about Bigfoot like most people and stuff like that, but I'm learning so much more now that I always knew Bigfoot was a large creature, a large being. I gotta look over my shoulder because there is a little worn out path behind me. I don't know if that's from hogs or deer, or the guy called his buddy in the woods. But where was I? So yeah, as far as height, I always I never really gave it much thought, but I always thought they were like around 7 feet tall, like human size, but maybe just a tad bit taller. Well, all these different reports, I won't say all, but many reports almost across the board say it was at least 9 feet tall and 4 feet from shoulder to shoulder, approximately 1,000 pounds, extremely chiseled. Even though they're very hairy, very muscular, very defined. The smaller ones have obviously not fully matured, so yes, they're not quite 9 feet tall. They could be 5, 6, 7 feet as they're growing like we do as humans. And so I gotta, so I wake up today and that's all I can think about is Bigfoot and trying to get the energy to come out to the forest and everything. So I finally, I do get up, I go to Planet Fitness, I see the tiles again. I'm looking at it more closely this time. Didn't have a camera. I don't need a camera to take the same picture. But then I leave and I was going up the road to Dollar General. And as I'm pulling in, all I can think about is coming back to the forest and look for signs of Bigfoot or Sasquatch. As I know that sounds crazy, but depending on what numbers you hear, there's approximately 300,000 acres out here or 600,000 acres. I've heard different numbers, but you can imagine it's quite large. Very, very dense. They do some controlled burns to help the growth and everything like that. But so I pull into Dollar General and I'm going to back up and I look over and I kid you not, this is like, I keep seeing all these weird signs. This could be purely coincidence, but to me, it's just like freaky as hell. A guy has a Jeep and he has the wheel cover is Sasquatch, Bigfoot. And I've been seeing those signs everywhere I go. Like I'll see, like you go in a convenience store, they have the stickers and stuff like that. I mean, that's all could be purely coincidence, but it's like, it's going to sound weird, but I feel like it's a sign. What it means, I don't know. It's almost like, come back, come look for me. So I'm definitely learned so much about signs, tree markings, formations, that I'm going to do the 1.2 mile walk here, hike, and I'm going to try and slow down and just be more observant. I've walked this before, and there are definitely some scary ambush points for any type of predator. But I'm going to try and slow down and just look and listen. Literally just look and listen. I don't want to have my camera in hand because I don't want to be focused on looking at the phone and trying to make the perfect video. But I feel like I should cover my ass and probably just for, even if it's just some wild critter, a boar or something, that I should probably have the phone on. So I may have it on and see what happens. So many people also report that when they tried to film whatever they had seen in real life, with their own eyes, when they tried to capture it on trail cams or video, nothing's there. So that part is almost, so many people report the same thing. It's almost hard to dismiss, but it's also hard to believe. I don't know if that makes any sense. But I haven't seen the early forecast for next weekend, but my finances should be a lot better. I may try and spend 2 days camping if there's availability where I want to go. And I just want to go deep into the woods, into the forest with proper protection, snake boots and such, and just try and look for signs. All these people talk about Here's some other crazy things. I don't know how much you guys have followed, but it's super, super interesting. There's so many different Sasquatch, Bigfoot channels on YouTube. They're just amazing. But they talk about the exchange of gifts between humans and Bigfoot or Sasquatch. A lot of them are reporting like beautiful, beautiful rocks with a lot of coloration and stuff like that. Um, there was one story I was listening to and watching, and the guy was, I'm trying to remember where it was now, either Canada or Alaska. I forget where it was, but he was a trapper, and he was an older fella now, and he had traditionally done very, very well. And he had these little tiny cabins, I guess you would say, like outposts that he would stay at periodically. And so while he was out doing his thing, trying to check his trap lines and whatnot, um, they had a real bad storm. So he was forced to stay at one of his little tiny outposts, if you will. But he didn't have any food. He only had very, very minimal amounts of food. I think he said like rice or something like that. So he was really, really freaking out because for him to try and get back to where he needed to go, where his food was, he just couldn't do it during those conditions. And he reports bam, bam, bam on his cabin. And he's really thinking like he's at the end of his road because he's going to basically starve to death. And a Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, brought him a quarter of it was either an elk or a caribou. It was like a gift or an offering because they were in observation of his conditions and stuff like that. Um, so that's also hard to believe and swallow and fathom. But there's other people that have had very, very many similar accounts where they get tapping on their trailer or on the roof of their camper or whatever, and they eventually go outside and discover gifts. Like one guy had a skull, I forget what it was, like of a deer or something with the antlers or whatever. And hold on a second, dog's coming towards charging me. How you doing? You okay? You okay? You okay? I'm I'm okay, buddy. You don't have to worry about me. No, you can go back. Sorry, I'm getting attacked by this big vicious dog here. Holy crap. That's okay. Things like big old friggin', man, like cross between a boxer and a pit bull. This thing was like just full speed ahead right towards me. Oh my God. And they weren't even making any efforts to call the dog back. Got my survival knife with me, but I didn't want to take it out with this little girl over here. But I can't believe they wouldn't call off their dog. What kind of freaking idiots are they? Man, that's weird. I'm already on edge talking about this stuff. And I get this dog like literally charging straight at me. And I had the tripod. I was trying to keep the tripod as a buffer zone. So yeah, so Sasquatch doing these giftings, if you will, they and some people do not. Dog's checking me out again. God damn it. Hopefully he stays over there. There's like a little lake here, and there's a roped in swimming area. Hopefully the dog stays there. But people also report that they'll wake up in the morning and all of a sudden they'll find like a big, beautiful rock or a gift or an offering inside. Oh shit, here comes the dog again. No, 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 no. Stay over there. Stay over there. No, we're not playing this game. No. No. Hold on, I might have to kick this dog's ass here. Stay over there. That's the second time he charged me. What the? They have no control over this freaking dog. Like literally wants a piece of me. I don't want to have to take it out, but damn. Like they're not making no effort to call off this dog. The one person did finally after I started screaming at the damn thing. So it's hard to stay on point when you're getting attacked by a dog in the forest. So my heart's thumping, man, because I don't want to do that. I love animals. That dog should definitely be on a leash. The dog that temperamental. But yeah, these people will wake up and find gifts inside their RV or camper or cabin, and there's too many reports for it not to be real. And if you ever watch, sorry, my heart's still thumping there. I didn't even want to take that dog out, but damn, I didn't want it to take me out either. Body language experts. I don't consider myself a body language expert, but there's certain characteristics. A lot of times, people will look down or look up if they're trying to fabricate a story and stuff like that. So when I watch these documentaries, people are looking straight in the camera and they're not blinking a ton. Like a lot of people that lie will blink a lot, stuff like that. So, but a lot of times, like I'm doing it now, a lot of times I'm always like, I don't always look straight at the camera. It's because I am searching for words because I don't know what I want to say, but so I'm going to be going to a nursery here soon, not today, midweek probably, that has a lot of different rocks, like river rocks and stuff like that. I'm going to try and find some unusual ones. Many years ago, I used to have, I think my mom still has these like quartz formations and stuff like that. I was always really fascinated with as a kid. They're at my mom's house. If my mom still has a house, nobody's contacted me. But yeah, sorry about that. That dog scared the crap out of me. I don't know if you could hear it barking or doing its thing, but it was like coming beeline straight at me, like it looked like he was about to launch. And thank God for this tripod. I could kind of keep it between us. But now that even just that little incident right there just has me paranoid to go walk this 1.2 mile trail. I really want to do it because I believe if you have fears, you have to just pretty much man up and just attack your fears. Um, just like when I had that incident at Mystic Springs Recreation that night where I heard the real loud, heavy steps in the woods coming towards me. I forced myself to go back to that campground, not that same site, but the campground the following week, and I was scared to death. And I was sitting around the fire pit and I heard more noise. I think I told you guys this already, and it was just a stray cat that came out of the woods. I knew it wasn't as heavy, but when you start hearing weird rustlings in a dark, place, and that is very primitive. It messes with your senses. Your brain's thinking all these what ifs. But that area, the wildlife management area at Mystic Springs, that's supposed to be like a hot zone, heavy area. I believe that the Blackwater River State Forest is as well, and I'm trying to do more research to try and find people or researchers that know about accounts in this area, just to share knowledge, just basically intel, what they know, what they've reported. Like I said, some people feel that their attraction to Bigfoot or Sasquatch is because they don't have fear. A lot of people are reporting that they more have a curiosity, not a fear. But if some creature is looking very primate-like, and he stands 9 feet minimum and weighs about 1,000 pounds, and it's just defined and chiseled, how can you not have fear? I could see how you could perhaps try and, whoa, the dragonfly again, pursue from a distance, but I can't imagine being face to face, you know. Um, I like hearing the birds chirp. That's another thing I have talked about in the past. When I did, I think I've already talked about this, but it's all these things seem to all be falling into place or working on my brain. But when I did that long hike, whatever it was, 3 miles I think it was, or I forget the distance, when I went to Garcon Point, that was very, very heavy, thick terrain. And I've always said, when I don't hear sounds of nature while I'm deep in nature, that's when I'm fearful. And it's so funny because watching these documentaries, so many people report the same thing. It's like they all know, the crickets, everything just shuts down. They're all on like high alert. So I've always kind of looked around, but I feel now I will be more observant for certain things that people have reported, the formations of the trees, the clusters, the X marks, the certain random offerings on a stump, and how trees are broken, whether they're sawed off or twisted, how far off the ground they've become uh, separated. The other thing they're talking about is the massive, massive hands on Bigfoot, like really, really long fingers, and the strength that is, can you imagine the strength you would have to snap a 4 or 6 inch girth tree, to snap it, not even uproot it, but just snap it. So that's all. That's what's on my mind today. Other than friggin' wild dogs that were trying to chew my ass up. I don't know. After that thing with the dog, I kind of have to either come out over there at the pavilion where the dog is, or start there. And I definitely don't want to start there because the dog's there. So the hike today may be canceled because they're not making any effort to leave or contain this dog. If you have any input, any thoughts, if you are a Bigfoot investigator, researcher, anybody that has a lot of knowledge of the forest in this area, Santa Rosa County, Okaloosa County, Escambia County, I definitely would like to talk to you. My encounters, if you will, my observations are very mild compared to other people's more believable, factual accounts. But I truly feel that there's more coming. I truly do. So my heart's still beating from that damn dog. Y'all take care now. Happy Easter.